And welcome back to Corsace Closed 2024. After an insane finals weekend, we have finally made it to the end. Now 3 players remain. We have worst HR player in winner's bracket with Henry and Malashevsky in the loser's bracket, and they are going to be playing on the grand finals map pool that is about to be showcased. And I think let's just get right into it. Okay, I have to ping Cavo. I'm going to be joined by Dio. Welcome, Dio.
Good morning. Here for some live reacting to the grand finals showcase. I'm ready to get into it. I have no idea what's in store, so I'm just happy to be here and happy to see the maps.
As usual, I am Miles, one of the head poolers for Corsace Closed with Aiden BH, and as per last year, we're going to be reaching 9 stars in this grand finals pool. For Nomod 1, we have Humanly, 9.14 stars, 250 BPM, mapped by, I don't really want to try to pronounce that mapper name.
Yeah, is that French? I didn't even know how to try to pronounce that.
Millet?
Yeah, Millimel? I don't know. If it is French, maybe that makes sense. I have no idea. 9.14 stars. So we have Malashevsky, Henry, and worst HR player awaiting the winner of that match in grand finals from winner's bracket. Worst HR player actually guaranteed top 2 in that winner's bracket. I don't even know who you would favor on a map like this. This is some pretty straightforward aim, but just super high spacing, 250 BPM, 9-star jumps. So, I don't know. Pool's just going to be really hard. I feel like this is going to be a tough test for any of these players. Last year, we saw that the scaling into 9 stars from Emrek was a decisive factor, but I feel like all 3 of these players are honestly pretty evenly matched on a pool this hard.
Yeah, I mean, between the 3 players, I feel like no Emrek in the mix is really going to make it a massive toss-up. Like, I don't really think this pool goes to favor any player over another, but all 3 of these players have really definitive strengths over one another, I think. Like, worst HR player, obviously, on the gimmick, and then Henry on the speed, Malashevsky kind of being, like, the scariest all-rounder remaining, I would say.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe you favor the all-rounder in grand finals, but I mean, a lot of times it's just strength on the scaling, right? Especially at this kind of star rating. We were talking about this a little bit during the matches, but when even stuff like Nomod 1 gets this hard, right? When it's 8.7, now over 9 stars for Nomod 1, the idea that Nomod 1 is kind of RNG just kind of goes to the wayside, because it really is a test of skill cap aim for so many players now.
Definitely. And I mean, after this weekend, I don't really know if we can call, like, worst HR player not an all-rounder anymore, because that guy can really play everything that isn't in the speed or tapping pool in a map pool.
Yeah, I mean, you don't get top 3 in an open rank 1v1 without being an all-rounder of some sort, right? Like,
yeah.
Obviously, yeah, you're going to have strengths and weaknesses for every player, but at this point, that's all they are, strengths and weaknesses. It's no longer like, oh, you just can't play half the map pool. It's, no, there's a few maps of a certain kind that you maybe have trouble with. And that's the case for all of the players in grand finals, right? Nobody is the perfect all-rounder. It's just kind of impossible. And there's strengths and weaknesses for all of them, so it's going to make for a fun weekend. Especially with, I think, a lot of their strengths overlapping, and really only one player having a strength on speed for this weekend. Not to say that Malashevsky's not a good speed player, but definitely Henry taking the cake on that one.
All right, and that's going to do it for Nomod 1. We will shortly go on into Nomod 2. This is a map that you should recognize, Dio. This was born of a custom from SSOT, but this difficulty was way too hard for that tournament. So we just took it and slapped it right into the Corsace Closed Grand Finals pool. This is Nimbelungen by Graham, mapped by Errol. And if you're familiar with an Aerial Nomod 2, you're going to be familiar with what this map brings to the table.
Yeah, is this the... Actually, I think this is the version we ended up using in SSOT. I'm pretty sure this is the same version. I'm gonna have to double check that, but I think this is the same diff. I'm gonna go ahead and double check here, but yeah, this map is a lot of aim control, Axel, decel streams all over the place, tough corners, and just really wonky flow aim on 222 BPM. It becomes so tricky to do really truly well on this sort of a map. It is extremely difficult.
And yeah, I think this is the other
This is the
difficulty.
diff. This is the diff we used in SSOT, actually. The lower diff ended up being too easy, so we just threw the top diff in the Nomod 1 slot in that tournament.
Okay, so a bit of a mix-up then, but I mean, this map, I'm not sure if it even got played there. It's so brutal.
I don't think so, no.
232k from Rectigon on a Nomod 2 is just... You're never really going to see that too often, and I think this map is definitely up to the difficulty, despite being not too far above what we balanced around. This pool is balanced around...
These 1/3s, bro.
8.6 stars. Yeah, these 1/3s are stupid. I had test players calling this, like, too hard, actually.
Yeah, this map is insane. Like, the reminder when we were pooling SSOT, because Miles and I were pooling that together. When we were pooling that tournament, we were pooling for players who were still in a team tournament and could be specialists to go in 1v1 to play this map. So to put this in a general 1v1 pool means that, honestly, it should be on the hard side. And it definitely is. Like, this is... I can even say, without seeing the rest of the pool, this is probably going to be one of the hardest maps of the weekend.
Probably. Some other map stats for you. This is CS4 AR10, 222 BPM, while also being OD10, which I think this map needs, because if it weren't OD10, then the chain miss potential on those streams would just be out of this world.
Yeah, Note Lock is knocking on the door if it's not OD10, that's for sure. And now for Nomod 3, Zutomeo, Humanoid. Mapped by Chess, actually? I didn't know Chess was a mapper also.
Me neither. And then I saw this map, and, like, this is just, like... When we were deciding to move the finals, Nomod 3, back to finals, which was originally in Grants, it was between that map and this map. And I was talking to some of the test players about it, most notably Boshi Man. And it was basically like, this map requires so much more active aim than the one that Yaspo mapped for finals. And that's what made this map so much more difficult than it. And it is 8.2 stars as a Nomod 3, which is something you don't really see too often because the skill set is one that's notoriously understarred by the star rating system, but this one still making it up into 8 stars just shows how hard it is.
Yeah, last week's Nomod 3, I think a lot of like flow aim, cut stream sort of stuff. This one, very clearly far more on the aim control side of things. Really snappy, but with still a lot of really tricky flow aim patterns as well. Like, it's kind of last week's amped up a little bit. It's not quite the same in terms of how it plays with the lack of, you know, big cut streams, but it does feel kind of similar in that regard. You get higher spacing flow aim patterns cutting into some of these snap aim patterns, and the snap aim itself just adds another layer. Despite being like pretty similar in star rating, I think, to last week.
It's about 0.3 stars higher for this one. But yeah, one of the arguments between this one and last one was, what is harder, the long chains on last week's Nomod 3 or just the active snap aim on this week's? And Boshi Man told me in direct messages that this map is 3 times harder than last week's Nomod 3. So that just... I didn't want to make that mistake again, so we ended up throwing this one in grand finals, sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, this background is very Enricore. I'm sure he's going to be very willing to... I don't know if he wants to leave this map up against Malashevsky or worse HR player, but maybe not ban it at the very least.
Well, apparently he switched from ring index to middle index, and now he can ult again. He was posting some ult scores from tournament earlier today on Twitter, so maybe he picks it. I don't know. You'd have to have some massive balls to pick this into worst HR player or Malashevsky, but Maybe left open for sure.
But yeah, one thing that I think is underrated when describing difficulty about a map like this is just the general aim stamina. This map is over 4 minutes long, and you have to be on your game for basically all of it. This is the only slow part in the map here, and the rest of it is just constant uptime with awkward aim.
We were talking about that on the Nomod 1 earlier today, actually, between Kriller and Malashevsky. With it being a 5-minute map in finals, it's like, you kind of do have some stamina for some of those aim maps. It's been a thing in a couple of other customs to talk about that. And when you play a map that has aim stamina that can induce aim fatigue, because there's very few maps out there where your aim hand starts to burn, where your forearm starts to burn in the same way that your tapping arm does when you play a long stream practice map. But it's that same kind of stamina and fatigue for your aim arm, and that's definitely the case with maps like this or Finals Nomod 1.
Yeah, it ends up really tanking your aim control. Like, I can imagine your arm is just going to be burning at this part, and you might find some unlucky chain misses there, but then you're rewarded with at least this little calm ending, but still. Rectigon, 326k on this replay. And I think that's a good score for this map.
Yeah, I would say that's a respectable score on this. It's 8.2 star Nomod 3. It's hard. And now it's a Nomod 4. Tech map in Nomod is Fluctuation by Zek, mapped by Azrog. This is the same background as the old OWC map, but this is 8.4 stars. And this has a map code starting with 4 million. So this is a new version. And this is going to be unhinged even compared to the old OWC diffs.
Yeah, we saw that Azrog map in semifinals, and we were like, wait, this guy is kind of goated at making these really high-star slider maps. So we went right back into his map collection and found this, and it's really freaking hard. Like, Rectigon, not even 200k on this replay. Like, you remember the slider jump spike from the semifinals, Nomod 4?
Oh, yeah.
It's just that, but for the whole map, so...
Yep.
Enjoy.
Where was this in Yuki-Aim? I needed this for Yuki-Aim Grand Finals back in the day. Like, we were pulling Czar Nomod 4 for that tournament. I needed Azrael back then, man. Like, this is what I needed, actually.
Yeah, Azrael is one of the few tech mappers that really pushes in star rating. I think most others prefer to chill in that lower 7-star range, at least the ones that do map high-star stuff.
Also, yeah, you're probably going to see a lot of Rectigon replays for this showcase. I'm not even involved with the pools. I'm just here blind sight reading everything alongside chat. But Rectigon is one of very few people who can even do replays at this star rating. Like, it's a 9-star pool. There's a handful of people who can even play this kind of pool.
Yeah, before Rectigon started getting on the replays, we actually had half of the replays at under 100k. Aimbot Cone just logged in, played all of these maps, and got under 100k on so many of them. And then some other replayers came on and got us at least up to 200k on a few maps, which is very nice. Oh yeah, and speaking of Rectigon, our next map is actually a custom by the man himself in a collab with the host Serenhide. Custom Nomod 5, we have CX Ronos, 270 BPM speed map.
All right, here's one of the Aimbot Cone replays. 240k on this, and this is a collab with Rectigon, apparently. Rectigon actually 2 maps in Corsace Closed this year, the semifinals Tiebreaker and the finals Nomod 5. Congrats to him. A little bit of slider aim in this one. Serenhide has started putting a little more like kind of tech patterns into a lot of his maps, and he's actually started mapping a lot more tech as well. Used to be known as kind of like the Nomod 5 one trick, and certainly does put together a good speed map. But this one seems a little bit more kind of what I like to pool in Nomod 5, which is like speed, like generic speed. I almost want to say like speed generalist type of map. Like a little aim, a little finger control, some of the stamina, some of the higher BPM bursts in this map as well, and longer streams. But a lot of just everything in this map, it seems like.
Yeah, overall, just a brutal test of speed. This is one of the highest star rating maps in the pool. Actually, sorry, I think this is... Yeah, wait, never mind. This is number 2. 9.38 stars is this map. A minute 45 seconds, CS 3.8. It might have originally been CS4, but that would just be a little bit too brutal, so ended up nerfing it down a little bit to CS 3.8, but I don't think that takes away from anything that this map is difficult over.
And this map even has perfect stack overlap sequences. Like, what does this map not have? This is like a tiebreaker for a lower star rating tournament rated up to 270 BPM. That makes sense.
Yeah, 240k from Aimbot Cone. That guy is a speed specialist. But speaking of specialist maps, here is the one for the guy in the winner's bracket. We have Nomod 6 Macrowave. It's not Microwave, this is Macrowave. Mapped by Gordon. And this map, it obviously takes a little bit of inspiration from the original, just looking at some of these patterns, but it is 7.11 stars, CS 5.5, AR 7.3 is the AR that they finally end up deciding on. This map ended up with a ton of modding on it from YokeSpy, who made last year's Nomod 6 for Grand Finals. And you can just see why, because he is one of the only people who is actually able to properly interpret a map like this.
YokeSpy 150k replay. Hold me, I'm scared. I don't have much more to say. This is some proper reading shred. Back and forth stream patterns overlaid on top of themselves. Stop and go patterns with no change in spacing. Awkward aim control, slider patterns, reading, finger control. I mean, this is a lot of everything that you're going to put in a super low AR gimmick map like this.
Yeah. I'm not sure if this map can ever make it through the ban phase, but, you know, actually, okay, here's the fun part. That slider stream just during the slow part, and then that goes into this awkward finger control section with these triples, and these aim control, like, little triangles, and we had another conversation between finals and grand finals with last week's Nomod 6 and this one. And this diff spike was so brutal that this one ended up staying in grand finals. So
I feel like I don't have to say too much during this, right? Like, this map kind of speaks for itself. The back and forth, stop and go, overlaid, overlapping patterns are really hard when it's AR7, right? Like, this is extremely difficult when it's AR7. YokeSpy is getting 150k. This guy is known for doing every low AR replay under the sun in open rank grand finals.
Now you're asking where's the hype maps. Here's the first one.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Aimbot Cone 98k, Fallen, mapped by Kreutz. This is the top diff, yes. Full screen 1-2 jumps, here we come. Yeah, this map, a little bit of history to this one. This was, I think, one of the highest star rating maps when it was ranked, up at 8.92 stars. CS5
used to be higher.
Used to be higher, yeah, before they nerfed aim.
Yeah, this was really controversial when it was ranked because not just the jumps, but the sliders in this map really got people going for some reason. They just thought it was like completely overmapped. And now finally, in the year of our Lord 2024, Fallen is in a tournament and no longer so overmapped that people are hating it anymore because we have just overmapped everything at this point. And so I don't know how to feel about this. Part of me is happy and part of me is like just bewildered.
I'll be honest, same. Like, I put this on the sheet, like, not expecting it to end up in the final map pool. I was just like, okay, yeah, we have this crazy aim map here with these troll-ass sliders. But then it ended up being kind of what we were looking for in the end, so we ended up keeping it. Even though it has some really troll sliders. But I do think the jump difficulty at this BPM is exactly what we're looking for. Being 210 BPM, it contrasts really well with the 250 BPM Nomod 1. And it's also much different from all the other aim picks in the pool, so ended up filling kind of this niche that isn't really touched anywhere else. So I just hope for all the players' sakes that you don't miss on the arrow slider.
Here they come, by the way. Here's the sliders that everybody was hating on back in the day. Those almost look like a Corsace slider. Kind of fits, no?
Yeah, pretty close, pretty close. So yeah, is this a troll pick? Maybe. But has Corsace Closed done troll picks? Many times. So, enjoy it.
TOHR? No balls?
Next year.
Next year, okay.
Next year, KO hard out. We've got...
DT1 actually. DT1 actually, though.
Yeah, DT1. This will be Corsace Closed in 2035. Okay, now on to our next custom map. We have Fodden Field, mapped by Captain. Between this and the quarterfinals AR8 hidden, these were the two very experimental low approach rate maps that we went with in this tournament. So yeah, 230 BPM on AR8 with a lot of bursts and awkward jumps and awkward kick slider jumps. This is really a package of a map that I'm not sure how many players are going to be comfortable on at all.
This almost reminds me, I mean, not in terms of like map style, but in terms of the focus of the map. Like, most of the focus of this is on mechanics, right? It's a 230 BPM, 7.7 star map. A lot of this, and the choice in what to pull here, or like the focus of the map, reminds me a lot of, I think it was Nick's Winter Cup 2022 Grand Finals low AR hidden map, where it was just a straight up mechanics map. Like, it was just aim. And while this one is a lot of slider stuff as well, definitely the main focus of this map is on the mechanics. It's a unique thing to see at the highest level, where often you get that more aim control focused style of low AR reading pick like we saw in the Nomod 6.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and exactly. That's why we have the Nomod 6 and this in the same map pool, because it would be way too similar if we just had two aim control maps as both of the reading picks. So if you want to abuse reading against your opponent, you have to choose between either aim control or this. And this is also slightly inspired, at least when describing what the slot should be to Captain. It was a little bit inspired from CSY the Corrupt, some of his old maps, except his are mostly approach rate 9. But still, the high BPM, lower approach rate creates just so much density that's so awkward to play.
Yeah, this is a straightforward pick with nothing super weird about it. And you still have Yolkspy getting 240k. So again, I'm still scared, right? In this case, for a different reason, because it's a higher star rating than any of the map pools I've ever had to play as a player before. This is a higher star rating than my top play, I think, maybe. I don't even know what star rating my top play is at this point. And it's also AR8 hidden. So, oof. Yeah, I don't have too much to add to this. Like, this is just a really, really hard pick, but also AR8.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens when you're having other maps in the pool go up to 9 stars. We have to scale as well with all of the other picks that you don't expect to ever get this difficult. Like, hell, I mean, I don't think I've ever seen an AR8 hidden be this high star rating. You can just see some of those patterns, all of those geometric shapes. So much pattern reading. Yeah, this map, I feel like most of the maps in this pool just really speak for themselves. You have to watch them, just see how difficult it is, look in years past, see the scores that people get on Grand Finals and Corsace Closed.
Lol, lol, lol. Okay, this is a hilarious hidden 3. What is this doing here, bro?
Oh
my god.
We are not beating the Toho allegations.
So mentioned. The behind-the-scenes pooling philosophy of Miles Osu. Toho mentioned.
Oh my god, Toho, I'm putting it in the map pool. Jeez. But yeah, this map meant to contrast a little bit with the hidden one. That one is 210 BPM aim, like that's cross screen. This one is kind of a hybrid of an alt pick and an aim pick with lots of difficult flow aim and snap aim at higher BPM as well. So that's the rationale behind this.
59 seconds, by the way. This is less than a minute long.
Yeah, this map is a bit of a shotgun. You have to be really comfortable on this to want to pick it because every miss on this matters with how short it is. Like, look at that aim.
Yeah, I mean, the spacing on this is just a little obscene, right? The back and forth snap aim also just goes into, like, rotating octagon into square into back and forth diamond pattern. Like, these are some obscenely high spacing patterns.
Yeah. But, I mean, you know, okay, before we go on and talk about this map, I'll talk a little bit about some pooling philosophy here. As long as maps are different at this star rating, I think you have a reason to put them in the pool. So I know we follow slot philosophy to at least a decent extent in this map pool. A lot of the time with maps at this difficulty, we just have to look and make sure, hey, make sure this is not the exact same thing as another map. And that map is a unique test of skill compared to some other alt maps and aim maps in the pool. So we decided it fits. But now, into the Hidden 4, we have Death Wish. This is where the stream tech is.
Yeah, very similar to Extend from last week, but higher BPM here. It's stream tech, right? Like, that's all this is. Yeah, it's really hard, but at its core, this is stream tech.
Yeah. If your Nomod 4 was where all of the aim tech is with all the sliders, we have the streams here. Lots of difficult aim controls, still a decent amount of slider aim, but I think most of the difficult on this is going to come from the streams and their transitions.
Yeah, I only jest with the previous pick on the Hidden 3 just because it's I've tried to pool some diff of that map set so many times, and every time I want to pool it, it's just completely the wrong difficulty for the pool, and I've never had an opportunity to pool top diff before. So I just thought it was very funny that finally made its way into a pool, and it's just Corsace Closed in Grand Finals.
Oh yeah,
very few people even play top diff of that set because it's so ridiculously hard. So, but back to this map. This is a bit more on the slider focus, I think, than Extend actually from last week. Definitely with this breakdown section here being very slider focused. A couple of Tomb Raider sliders, lots of slider streams, lots of follow point sliders in this part as well.
This map was also a custom for the Vaxay vs Malashevsky's show match. Or no, it wasn't a custom, but it was in that as the Nomad 4. Don't remember
that. We were on that. We were casting that together. I don't even remember this, bro.
Casters. Me neither. Also, I'm listening to this song. This might be Toho. I'm not sure. There's no Toho in the tags, but like, it's itching the worm in my head.
His spidey sense is tingling. Someone in chat says, why is everything OD10? When the map pool is 9 stars, OD10 becomes a kind of necessity on a lot of maps, even if it's not Hard Rock. The obvious exception there is the DT pool, where maps will be OD 9 point something most of the time, or at least 8 point something. So you're going to have OD 10 plus on the majority of maps in this pool. Maybe some of the low AR maps is an exception there, but even then, those still open themselves up to note lock territory without higher OD, just because of how difficult everything is, right? This is 220 BPM streams with Hidden. You kind of need that higher OD to not get note locked out of everything.
Funny incoming.
Funny incoming?
Funny incoming. Funny has arrived. Lol. Feelin' Sky, Camellia 200 Step Remix, Probox, Hard Rock 1. This is the easiest map in the pool.
Honestly, I can kind of see it, actually, if you're not being ironic. Like, I'm not even... This might be one of the easiest picks in the pool.
Yeah, and you can see this as Grand Finals tiebreaker in tournaments for 3 digits. I believe this was GFTB in ADS last year. Actually, no, I can say it was because I pooled it here. But yeah, this map is meant to be that kind of mech techie aim map, where it's an all
Miles is so back. He's in his element. The mech tech has arrived, baby.
We have made it. Yeah, it's the easiest map. Rectagon got 450k on the replay. That's normal for like most other map pools.
I mean, this is this is the tournament where your grand finals tiebreaker gets put in Hard Rock, and there's not much else you can say about it too much. Reason Hard Rock in previous years, yeah, that's not a tiebreaker, but it's a marathon length Hard Rock pick that's otherwise Nomod in the vast majority of tournaments where you do see it. Furiosa Melodia, Hard Rock won last week. I don't even think that got played, which is very sad.
It did.
It did? Oh, let's go.
MCY and Kriller, and they had like a 10k score difference on it too.
Oh my god.
Lived up to the hype.
That's the one match I didn't get to watch. I'm so sad. That map is obviously a Grand Finals tiebreaker in many, many tournaments throughout the years. Still gets used as Grand Finals tiebreaker. I used it in one just recently. And now this map, which is also a Grand Finals tiebreaker in lots of tournaments. Marathon Length Pro Box Camellia Self Remix. Not too many more iconic duos than that. You can definitely name a few, but Pro Box and Camellia Self Remix is definitely something that is well loved in this community.
Yeah. And I see Riot mentioned in chat, one thing that's core about this map is that it has a really long intro, which gives like, I think I saw like 400 free combo on this before it gets into real big.
I think Miles' internet died, but what he was going to say was before it gets to the meat and potatoes of the map, you get a little appetizer. You get some free combo. You get to just chill for a minute before you start getting all the slider aim, all the space triples, all of the slider jumps in this map as well. One thing to note when we talk about slider aim versus slider jumps are just things you can play as normal jumps, but they are sliders instead of circles. Slider aim is more stuff like this, but when it's much faster in terms of the slider velocity. And this map has quite a bit of both of those alongside the stream aim necessary to hit a lot of these high spacing triples in the map.
Lord, save my internet. Okay, I think I'm back.
You are back now.
I am definitely back, yes. But yeah, this map, I think it's still fine despite the long intro because, like, it's really going to depend on who hits the entirety of that first breakdown because after that intro, you don't really get any slowdown again until this part. And realistically, if you manage to combo through that whole difficult section, you probably deserve to win this map if your opponent breaks. So we'll just leave that be the consistency test of the pool because the average length of this pool is pretty short compared to, I think, the last few weeks where we had multiple 5-minute maps in the last pool. So one thing I always like to do when pulling these late round pools is have at least one map that's super long. For that reason, mostly.
Honestly, some of these super long maps can be a way into a hype pick, almost, from a pooling standpoint, which I know the players don't necessarily care about that, but from a viewer experience standpoint, it's one of the things you tend to like as a pooler, right? Because when it is marathon length, even if it's diff spiky, even if there is free combo in it, if there's so many diff spikes that you end up getting 4 or 5 major difficulty sections in the map, does it really matter if it's diff spiky now? No, not really, because you're still going to get lots and lots of chances to find breaks throughout the map. It just makes the free combo all the more rewarding on the hype picks.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I think there's no way this gets banned because there are so many more offensive maps in this pool than this. And all 3 players remaining are decent at the tech, also very consistent. I think this could be picked late in a match if anyone is really feeling up to it. But I don't think anyone is going to want to pick this early as like a pick that you think you really have an advantage on because some of the patterns in this map are just so volatile. Like on a map this long, like can never be too comfortable.
Yeah, I think this is a map that is very evenly matched for all three players. I don't think any of them are significantly advantaged on this map. That could have been the case with some other combinations of players to see in grand finals, but with worst HR player sitting in grand finals from winners bracket and Enria Malashevsky in losers grand finals, I feel like all three of these players are going to be very similarly matched on this map. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing this get played at all this weekend. Not just for the map itself. I'm actually not a huge fan of the Probox Camellia Self Remix maps. Not particularly my cup of tea as a player, but I think this is going to be one of the best watches of the weekend if it does get picked. Really looking forward to seeing this get played.
Yeah. And that's going to do it for the very long HR1. Now into another decently long map that's also very epic. We got Peanut Butter Jelly Time 2020. Map by My Name's Weeks. I definitely butchered that pronunciation. But yeah, this map was actually sent to me by Rectigon. He was like, Miles, this would be so epic in a map pool. And I completely agree with him. How the hell did he get 474k? What?
So I need you to take a look at the Grand Finals map pool that Woey and I pooled in 2021 for Yaz's Summer Cup, because this was actually hidden too in Yaz's Summer Cup 2021. I was wondering, like, in the back of my mind, if I was ever gonna see this map in any map pool ever again. Here we go, baby. CS 7.3. This is 8.7 stars with Hard Rock. Oh my god.
Yes, it is, Dio. Lots of difficult snap aim, lots of difficult aim control with the precision. It's just, this is another thing where I think all three players are going to be pretty equal on this, just because of how brutal these patterns are. Like, these chains are pretty long, and at CS 7.4, if you miss one of these, it's going to be so hard to get back on the chain. Like,
yeah, it's just insane. The aim control on this is absolutely devious. It's really tough, and yeah, it's a precision map. Yeah, it's kind of streamy with the long chains, but with Hard Rock on this, it really does stop being more of a stream flowing map and start being more of a snappy aim control pick for just the circle size and the increased spacing.
Yeah, this song is also a pretty good meme. Lots of funny sound bites played throughout the map.
Also, Miles, I think we're the exact same map board, because you said Rectigon came to you with this map and was like, this would be funny if it was in the pool. When I was pooling YSC with Woey in 2021, he came to me with this map and was like, yo, this would be funny if we put it in the map pool. So this map got pooled in 2 separate 1v1 tournaments with 2 completely different sets of poolers in the exact same way. We are actually the same pooler in a trench coat. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, it's just me in the background. Like, that's me in the background when this map gets picked. I'm gonna be, if I'm commentating anything in Grands and this gets picked, I'm gonna turn my cam on and just start dancing.
Okay, this is epic. Oh my god.
Yeah, this is, I just don't know, because this is kind of a similar situation with Fallen, because like, it was on the sheet, and I was like, yeah, this map is kind of a good meme, but I don't know if I want it to be in the final pool. And then as more maps ended up in their slots, this just looked like more and more like something that actually would be feasible. And CS 7.3, like, we didn't want to pool 6.5 in Grands. Like, that would be lame.
Nah, that's lame. Yeah.
That would be lame. So we had to bust out the peanut butter jelly time when it was needed the most.
Frankly, with just about any other map below CS6 base, I would be disappointed. Make a special exception for this one, though. I was expecting some CS8 plus, but this is good. This is good.
Originally, we actually had a CS 6.5 map. It was Angel Honey's map of Gaussian Blur, which, to put it lightly, it's basically like a Kush Van Man map. Like, it's just a Kush Van Man map. You have Angel Honey cut streams, and it's like 210 BPM or something. But this is a lot more epic.
This is indeed epic.
It's gluten-free. I don't care if it's free.
By the way, this is actually higher starting than Nomod 2 somehow. Like, this is a hard pick. Somehow Rectigon got 475k on this. I don't know how.
Custom time.
Oh, okay. And for Hard Rock 3, Lost Umbrella, the 7-7 bootleg remix by Inabakumori. 300k from Rectagon on this one. This is much higher BPM than the original Lost Umbrella. It feels like a 190 or something. It's 170 somehow. I thought this was way higher BPM, but yeah, these patterns, even on 170, are some shred, some alt shred.
This custom is by Raijoto, by the way. Not sure why the mapper is being displayed as 7_7. But yeah, this map is kind of unique. I had players come and tell me that this is probably the hardest thing in the pool, but we ended up nerfing the circle size a bit down to either 3.8 or 3.7 for the tournament version. And it's just a little bit, I think, typical for a Raijoto alt map, but then you raise the BPM a lot higher. This plays like a 170 BPM stream map, but with alt patterns, pretty much.
Yeah. I see a lot of people talking about speed Mappool or tapping Mappool. I don't know if they know, but first HR player can play 1/6. And I feel like they're not going to be that significant a challenge for any of the players here. The aim control is definitely much harder on this than the 1/6 are, because they're all pretty much perfectly stacked, or very low spacing otherwise.
Yeah, aim control on this, I think those is just like, that's probably one you're going to be looking mostly at forum at. And you know, that kind of brings me to another little tangent about how this pool ended up being balanced. Because we don't have too much aim control in the hidden pool, but the hard rock pool is just like so much aim control, especially HRs 2 through 4. And you're all gonna see why when the next map comes up, because oh lord, there is so much aim control in this HR pool.
So I have to ask, we had like a mech techie hard rock one, honestly a little more on the tech side with that map, I have to feel. And then aim control hard rock 2, hard rock 3. Getting some mechanics hard rock 4?
No.
No. Okay.
No, you do not.
All right, bro.
Polygon instead. I mean, this is the final tech pick in the pool. I'll spoil it. There's not going to be a tech DT map. But this is one that I think is a lot more even. I don't know. This is just more content. Enjoy.
You know, every time I want to pull Polygon, I look at the map and I'm like, yeah, Polygon. It's going to be great. And then I look at the diff graph and I see the second half again and I'm like, oh, yeah, Polygon. Forgot about that. I think this diff is hard enough in the front half. I don't even remember, honestly. There's too many diffs of this.
On HR, probably, but still, it's going to be a bit lopsided. And, you know, like I always like to have a very long map, it's fine if you have one, like, just back half diff spike map in a pool. That plays its own mind games with itself.
Well, this is definitely that map in this pool. I think we'll probably see maybe a miss or two in the first half just due to nerves on something like this, especially with hard rock. I mean, hard rock on this map is still extremely hard, so gonna be difficult regardless.
Yeah, just watch this. And this is another map where we felt that it was different enough from the HR3 and HR2 to still be good to put in the pool. But nonetheless, when balancing out like skill sets tested, I will admit this is just so much aim control in this HR pool. Rectagon got 681k due to the virtue of the first half being a lot easier, able to get a big combo going before you get into the real meat and potatoes of this. But here's a double time one.
So this is asking a little bit of spoilers, but I'm making a prediction here. Just like last week, every DT map in this DT pool is going to be something from 2013 to 2017. That's my prediction for this DT pool. It happened last week. Surely it happens again here.
We actually go back even earlier, and we go even later. We have a modern map. We have a modern map in the DT pool, but we also have an ancient map in this DT pool. So feel free to put your predictions on what these maps will be. But yeah, this map is a very iconic aim map in the game. We've got now loading mapped by Doormat. This is the highest star rating map in the pool, up at 9.52 at 289.5 BPM, AR 10.5, and OD 10.4. This would have been the MREC map, but unfortunately he didn't make it to the stage.
I see it. So is this is top diff, right? Not the second top diff? Pretty sure this is top diff. Yeah, okay.
This is top diff.
Not that they're too different in star rating anyway. The second top diff is like 0.2 stars lower than the top diff anyway, so still be a ridiculous map even if it were the second diff. Yeah, this is I think this is actually in MREC's top plays if memory serves. It's been a while since I've looked. I don't even think it's in his top plays anymore. I think he just has an FC on it. But this was one of those maps that when it first was released, people were concerned about it being the death of 500 PP play rarity, believe it or not. When this was released, people were like, this map is going to kill the rarity of 500 PP plays. Everyone's going to be able to hidden hard rock this. It's not even hard. And even to this day, there are only 26 hidden hard rock plays on the map. Not even 26 hidden hard rock FCs. I think 20 hidden hard rock FCs. No, not even 20. There's like 19 hidden hard rock FCs on this. And then there's a hidden double time FC from MREC for 1200 PP. So that exists now.
Yeah, this
How
is...
the times change.
Yeah, this is something. I thought this was too hard, but then I remembered I have been underballing all of the double time maps for this whole tournament, and we need DT to be hard, so speed players can have something to show off on. And the next map is another funny case of that, I think. I had people telling me this map was too easy. I asked Malteser to test play it, and he got one of his freaking top plays on this. Yep. We got Ozusurjin, mapped by Handsome, Mattress Actress. This would have also been a tourney PP record contender.
Yeah, this is D&B Burst, basically. There's not a lot else to say about this map. D&B long streams and bursts is really all that's going on here.
Yeah, there's a few long streams in this that have a lot of flow aim in it as well. This is one of them. They're about 16 notes long. And at this BPM, that could really start to scale out for some players.
This is also 1Kable, by the way. Arnold has a 1K on this hidden double time with 98 AC, and DT only for an SS. This is 1044, so technically 1Kable. I don't think we'll see that act with an FC in match, but technically doable.
Another very long DT map. This one is 3 minutes and 29 seconds after double time. And this replay is from Aimbot Cone with score V1. Finally, we get to see Aimbot Cone on his skill set instead of being forced to play the hiddens. And you see there's a little cut there between those two streams. That could be a place where we expect to see some breaks for anyone who is not very comfortable on this BPM.
Just a reminder, this is 263 BPM, so these long streams are very, very high BPM. The Nomod 5 itself was 270 BPM as well. The Nomod 2, which is, the stream stamina map, was already 220. So you're just getting a lot of really high BPM speed and stamina maps.
Yeah, this map also being on the longer side, it's gonna make it even harder to cheese, I guess, but looking at the three players on this, it's like, Forum definitely doesn't like this, but I feel like this could be a really good matchup between Henry and Malashevsky, akin to their matchup on Mr. Kill Myself a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, Yeah, I think this can also be a very good map between those two. I think the one thing that does keep this a little Henry favored is the spacing on the streams. Like you mentioned, the cut stream in the one long stream section, but the flow on some of these is just really hard. And at 263 BPM, there's not a ton of players who are super comfortable with that, even in solo, right? Like, this is not going to be an easy pick for anyone to deal with that kind of spacing and cut streams on these longer 263 BPM streams. That's really, really tough.
Yeah, this is what I like to call a DT player's map, where it's not really just defined by the speed requirement or the flow aim requirement. It just kind of throws a bunch of different things at you, and you really just have to be an overall high-level speed player to be able to contend with a map like this. And to continue with the Malteser double time pool, we have Toho, Wind God
Oh,
Girl.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Here's the ancient map.
Yeah, you know, we were going to pool this in SSOT also, right? Like, this was an option. This was on the sheet for that tournament as well, and we ended up going with Ascension to Heaven, which was probably a mispick. I'm going to be real. But 300 BPM, AR 10.3, OD 10.4, bursts and streams. That's basically the whole map. There's some aim, but a lot of the jumps in this are, you know, your very old-timey flow aim, low spacing jumps like you see in between these stream patterns.
Yeah, we originally had a different Dementory map here. We had RLC's View of the River Styx, but this one felt like it fit a lot more because I would consider that other map to be another one of those just DT players maps where it's just like, yeah, it throws a lot at you. There's a lot of aim, a lot of bursts. But this map is really the 300 BPM speed test when put in a map pool. While yes, it could be double tappable, you're gonna get really messed up by some of the finger control because it's not just straight bursts. You have lots of aim mixed in there as well between some of the patterns. And also your accuracy is gonna be really poor if you double tap through this.
I'm just curious to see how this goes, honestly. Like, I just want to see this played out. I know this is going to be the forum double tap map that he leaves open and tries to double tap through the weekend, because you absolutely cannot do that on the DT2. But I know this is going to get picked in grand finals regardless of who gets there. So I'm just really interested to see exactly how it goes, because, yeah, these jumps in between the bursts on this map are so difficult.
Yeah, like, if you're double tapping through this, you might be able to combo the first half, but then that part is going to claim you. Like, if you manage to get through that double tapping with your B rank or whatever with an FC, then at that point you deserve it, IMO. Yeah, aimbot cone 90% on this.
Yeah, I'm wondering how well Henry will do on this as well. Henry is obviously the most favored player on speed maps generally going into the weekend. But I don't know how good his 300 BPM is. I think a lot of his speed is more focused on the like 240 to 270, 280 BPM range rather than like the 300 BPM range. So I'm curious to see how well he'll do on this as well. I definitely favor him on the pick still, but this does make things a little interesting because I know he's talked about some of the really high BPM stuff being a little out of his range, if anything.
Yeah, definitely excited to see how players do on this. I think Henry will probably be happier to pick this into Malashevsky, but this could also be something that Malashevsky decides to ban, so not positive.
Yeah, actually, I'm really happy to see Wind God Girl in a pool once again. It's been I don't even know if I've seen it in a pool. I've seen people do plays on this. Maybe it's in a show match pool or something. I seem to remember a tournament match on this at some point, but I can't remember where.
It was probably in like OWC 2013.
DT, sir.
DT4. Do I even need to say it at this point? Toho mentioned. We have Lucky Cat, mapped by Bloxy, and we saw this map, and this is another one that Rectigon suggested, and this is just made of fire too.
Yeah,
That's what this is.
yeah, pretty much. I was almost gonna say Kirby mix, but yeah, Made of Fire is more apt. That's for sure. Bloxy is a mapper who's well known for imitating a lot of really old styles of mapping. This one definitely inspired by Made of Fire and other maps by, I think it's LKS? I don't even remember actually who mapped Made of Fire.
That was
Listra?
Ikoro.
That was Listra.
Oh.
LRJ was
Wait, yeah.
Ikoro. Yeah, but
LRJ
I think Made of Fire was
That's
Listra.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was Listra. My bad.
This is also 58 seconds, by the way. This is extremely short, 250 BPM as well. So this is still a really difficult speed map. This is an absolute shred pick for Enri, by the way. And obviously the pools are done in advance of when we know the players are there, but I am really looking forward to seeing this get played by Enri this weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be a great pick. All right, now that's going to do it for the main part of the map pool, and we're going to get on into the Grand Finals tiebreaker. We once again have a custom song for the Grand Finals tiebreaker, along with a custom map, and it was a really big project. The map is 9 stars, and I'm hoping you guys really enjoy this one, so we're going to let it play. And that is going to be Sound Architect, an original song for Corsace Closed by Qtatsuki, with a custom map by 9ami alongside it. That map is definitely the hardest map in the pool. Definitely a great map to headline the Corsace Closed tournament, and I'm super excited to see if that map gets played. A little bit more about that map. The background artist is Nepperoni, also known as ne_pura. Be sure to check them out and their artwork as well. And Qtatsuki, we thank them so much for this awesome song, and 9ami for the map. And that is going to do it for the Grand Finals showcase. It's been a long time coming, and I just want to thank everyone for watching. And I also want to shout out a lot of people who helped us out with the map pool. Have to shout out Aiden BH, who is the other head pooler who hasn't showed up to any of the showcases, but he has put in a lot of the work in managing the maps and just helping me finish the pools. It's been a blessing having him around. It couldn't have been done without him, as well as all of the play testers. I'm just going to shout them out really quick. We have Arnold 24x24, Belladonna, Boshi Man 741, Chillier Pear, Rectigon, Suwagi, Yolks Pie, Xylus, Arco, Aimbot Cone, Deske, Fiery Rage, and Flamesteer. And they have all put in the work for us, and we have to shout them out. They've done an absolutely great job, and the pools could not have been done without them. And that's all for me. Anything from you, Dio?
That's going to be it for now. Thank you all for watching. And next weekend, of course, all of these maps are going to be played by our players on the Grand Finals. In Losers Bracket Grand Finals, we have Enri and Malashevsky duking it out for the second time, a rematch of the winners semifinals, where Enri originally took it 6-4, now on a best of 13 on a 9-star map pool. And the winner of that match will go on to face worst HR player, awaiting them in the grand finals with winners bracket advantage. It's going to be a banger weekend of matches, all going to be relatively early as well, all three players from Asia and Europe. So we are going to see some relatively early matches. If you're from North or South America, set your alarm clocks. And for those of you from Europe and Asia, it should be at some pretty easy to watch times. So expect everyone watching here to show up for sure for those grand finals matches. That is going to do it for us for now. Shout out to Momokai sponsoring Corsace Closed. We have a custom Momokai tap trio for Corsace Closed on their website, as well as a code to use on Momokai's site in order to get a discount on the rest of their products. And also shout out to the Corsace manga that is being published right now on Namikami. Go check that out. And with that, we are done with the Grand Finals showcase. Thank you, of course, to the pooling team, as Miles already shouted out everyone there for the massive amount of work they do. Thank you to everyone for watching, and we look forward to seeing you next weekend for the Grand Finals.
Definitely be there, and I hope you all have a good rest of your day or night wherever you are.